Hello and welcome everybody, I am SocioPsycho and today we will look at a game called Gravi. This game is created by Hashbang Games and it's a intense, hardcore, pain-filled platformer in a very unique style. Now, before we go too far into it, we'd like to stay out a few things. One, this is early access. Two, for those out there who are wondering if this is coming to have Mac and Linux support. Yes, the developers said they did want to get that in the future, and they're working on it. As well as they're working on multiple gamepad controls and language variations for other countries. So with that stated, we're gonna go and look at the first thing that's probably on your minds is the store button here. Now, from what I've been able to tell, while the store is not up currently, anything they have in the game will be purchasable by the in-game currency, and that's just something that you always need to be aware of when somebody says store right there. Awards are simply very difficult challenges. They're different than achievements. This game has 25 achievements. When we go into the options menu, you have a good variation of quality, but the game itself is not ugly. It has a very dark and malevolent feel to it, which is good. It fits, and the graphics look quite good. The resolution gives a large variation of different choices, which shows that the developers have put time and effort into that. Now the audio, as you might have heard right there, jumped up a little bit, and this is really the only bug I've been able to find. One other was I got stuck in a wall and I just had to restart the mission. That shows a level of polish and care for the game, which is nice to see. Input, you have your basic controls, as I didn't find a way to rebind them, but there's so few it really doesn't matter too much. So let's go into the levels. There are 10 levels per chapter. There's 4 chapters, a total of 40 levels. And while this needs to be a little more fleshed out here, you have your best score, best time, collectibles, deaths, and lifetime deaths. So it gives stats per the mission, so you can go back and beat your score if you want to. Unfortunately, for a game that currently, I should state early access, for a game that is this hardcore, for there not to be leaderboards seems really silly. And if you're hoping for a leaderboard, then you're going to be disappointed. So let's go into the game and show the basic mechanics of the game itself. Now, to move around, so basically you're moving A and D to move, and you have 2 abilities with your mouse. Left, you shoot a little orb, and it's like a magnet, and it throws you to it. This allows you to jump in a place where jumping is not available. The other ability is the ability to make yourself smaller by sort of releasing energy, I want to say, which is useful in some circumstances because the maps are built around it, such as this one right here. We get ourselves smaller, and I suck myself back up and get squished. So that's how that works. Now you may be wondering, well, what's so difficult about this? Why should I really care? Now I'm not a platformer junkie, but this game is very sensitive, whether that is intended, and I think it is because of some of the way the trap layout is. It's very sensitive and something you need to really take in cautious because you move too forward and you'll just get killed. The game offers a multitude of different layouts and challenges, which you may have to play again a few times over to actually before actually getting in. Now, one thing you need to be aware of is this game is very, I want to say, abusive to the player. In the first sentence of the description, they say this game is an intense platformer made for people who can tolerate tested tolerance of high pain. This platformer is made to make you suffer, and while I'm perfectly fine with that, I have no issues with the fact that you will die, and if you run through and try to be stupid, you will die. That's perfectly fine. I have no problem with difficulty and things being even more difficult with the option to get the collectible green orbs. The issue that I have is that after you complete a mission, you get no positive reinforcement. Once you complete a mission, it doesn't even say or really show in an animation that you succeeded. Now, that might not matter to some people, but on a psychological level, it's important because it teaches you, okay, I did good, I want to do more, I feel good about myself. And that's what matters, when you feel good about completing something that you've died 12 times on. That currently is not, there is no psychological reward system in this game, and receiving nothing but abuse from dying on a difficult puzzle again and again makes the game shallow and empty. Now, a way to get around that would be to play with somebody else, whether it be somebody there is no co-op option. So what I mean by that is take turns with somebody else, or make it a party game, or things like that. If you can laugh at yourself and have somebody else laugh at you as well, and then laugh at them, it alleviates some of this annoyance. But it's not a game if you're thinking, well, this will be an easy little platformer. This is not for you. If you're not used to platformers or things that are difficult and wanting to kill you and wanting to see you fail, then perhaps you should try something else. There are a multitude of different map stylings in the game. Like I said, the artwork of this game looks quite good. It has its own little charm and its own little beauty, and graphically it's not an issue. Now, the music is pretty much the same, but it fits with the atmosphere of the world. It fits with the atmosphere of the world, and so while it may be repetitive, you can always turn it off and listen to whatever. It fits for the game. It feels whoops. So what are you looking for from a platform? How responsive does it feel? And that's probably the kicker of it. The game is so responsive that you might say it's too responsive, it's too sensitive. You move a tiny bit and you move a whole lot, and it can lead to either not moving far enough or moving too far. But there's a variation of levels, traps, puzzles, and the variation is quite good to see. Well, one thing though, the game, one area it really respects you is the fact that it gives you plenty of checkpoints along the way. It knows that you're going to die and it laughs at you for doing so, but at least it doesn't mock you. It gives you plenty of checkpoints where you don't have to go too far back, which is really nice. It says, hey, yeah, I know I killed you, but hey, look, you don't have to start 5 feet back. So I can respect that. So if you're looking for a difficult game with a little bit of frustration here and there, then perhaps this is a game for you. If you're looking for something and you're new to the platform genre, this might not be for you. But if you have friends and you just want to laugh at each other, then sure, why not? Go for it. Now there are more mechanics as the game continues. You end up being introduced to more mechanics, and one such is on the next level. We will get to here shortly. There we go. So one other game mechanic that you can see is there are buttons you need to push. So here we have a new mechanic. The red waves shoot you up, the blue waves shoot you down. The game is a giant frustration ball. It wants you to fail, and which is fine. Having a game that wants to kill you is perfectly fine. The only issue is you don't feel rewarded once you complete the mission. It's just like, alright, next one, keep going. Which leaves a bad taste in your mouth, unfortunately. So what you see right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what you get. This is the game in its entirety. So should you get this game in the end, that is up to you. My personal experience with it has been such a high level of frustration with such a low level payoff of satisfaction that it just doesn't feel worth it to me. Now, if you play with some other people and some friends, you can shave that off or get more hours out of it perhaps by making fun of each other. But don't go into this game thinking that it's going to be something that it's clearly not. Be smart about what you do and play for the reasons that you want to play. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you next time.